Hello and welcome to COSC 1315. My name is Tabring Daly and I'll be your instructor for this course. The purpose of this video is to tell you a little bit about the course. And I first wanted to start off by showing you the syllabus on Canvas. And so if you click here, you'll be taken to the syllabus, and I already have the tab up for you here. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the course. And so this course is an Introduction to Programming course, and so you'll be learning all the basics of programming, and we'll be using the programming language of Java for this course. And we're also going to be using a software called Alice. And Alice is going to help to teach some of the abstract concepts. It's going to make those concepts hopefully seem more visual. And so that'll be used to help teach some of the concepts, but we are using Java in this class for our programming language. And so I wanted to give you my contact information. So I prefer that you email me through Canvas. So there's actually a little email that you can email me through Canvas. And the reason why I like that is because it already has your name. It keeps you in the right course section. So I don't have to figure out what course section you're in. Um, and it just keeps everything separated so I don't miss your email by chance. But if you're having any trouble with Canvas, you can email me to my regular email account. I have my office hours scheduled here for you. I try to pick mornings, afternoons, and evenings for you so that you can have some choices there of what works with your schedule. You will be required to get a textbook for this class. So the textbook information is provided here for you. There's an ebook and a hard copy of the book, so whichever works best for you. But the exercises that we do in the class will be in the book, so you will need to get that. However, I do have the first couple chapters available for you until you get your books. There's no need to rush the order for your book. You can take some time to do that, but you do need to make sure that you do order that. So this is an online course. So really attendance is just, getting on Canvas and keeping up with everything. There on the syllabus, I do have due dates and times for everything. And so you just have to make sure that you abide by those so you don't lose any points and so that you can stay on track. If you want to submit work early, that's a possibility. Everything is posted for the entire semester. So if you know that you're not going to be available for a certain week, then what you can do is just get the work done early so that you can take off that week. So let me know if you have any questions about any of that. I will try and answer my emails within 48 hours, but hopefully quicker than that. I just wanted to give myself some leeway there. So it depends on how difficult the question is. If it's something I have to look into as far as something with accommodations or something like that. It may take a little longer. But if you're having trouble with your program, I'll try and get back to you quickly with that. So if you send me an email, the best thing you can do is if you need help with your program, if you could actually attach your program, that way I can see what you're doing, so that I can best help you with that. And I'll also show you how you can set up an office hour appointment with me so that you can actually show me your screen and we can go over it together, because I think that's the best way to do it. So if you just have a quick question, you can send me an email and hopefully get a quick answer to that. But if it's something more involved, then maybe set up an appointment to meet with me online and I can go over it with you in more detail. I'll try and grade assignments within a week of the deadline. So I wait till the deadline has passed and then I grade the assignments. And I try to get to them within a week, but hopefully a little quicker than that, so that you know exactly what you're doing, if anything needs to be corrected, because all of the concepts in this class build on one another. So if you don't understand variables, then you won't understand conditionals and loops and arrays. And so we really need to make sure that if you're having trouble with any of the beginning concepts, that we get those cleared up before you move on to the next concept. So um, I can meet with you during my office hours to help you with anything that isn't making sense. So there's exercises that we are going to do in this class, and the exercises are used for practicing the concepts. And so the exercises in your book, and they are given to you step by step. And so they're not worth as much. There were 2 points each, but those 2 points add up. So it's really just a matter of, completed, half completed, or not completed. But again, it's pretty much given to you, so hopefully you can get all the credit for that. I don't take off late points for exercises being submitted late. However, I hope that you try and follow the due dates for them because I don't want you to get behind. I do want you to do the exercises before you do the assignments because the exercises are supposed to help you understand the assignments. And so if you need help but you haven't done the exercises, I'm always going to see, do the exercises first and then I can help you with the assignment because if you don't do the exercises, you won't understand the material enough to be able to do the assignment. So the exercises are there to help you understand the material. And so you do have to do those. But I do, if you miss them, I do want you to get a chance to make them up and do them. So that's why I don't deduct points for being late because I feel like it's better if you do them than don't. Then it's better that you do them than not do them. Okay, so assignments are worth a little bit more because they're tougher because you have to take what you learned in the chapter, what you did in the exercises, and apply it to be able to solve a problem with your assignment. And so you're given a task and you have to be able to complete that task based on what you learned. And so you have to, put everything together that you learned. And so it is tougher. So a due dates for the assignments are strictly enforced. So if you miss the due date, then it's 1 point per day late. And so the quicker you get in, the better it is. You're not allowed to work together with other students, and so your assignment shouldn't look similar to someone else's assignment. So make sure that you're doing your own work, and if you need help, you can come to me for help. Also, we have a tutor for this class. You can go to the tutor for help, but don't go to another student because we want to make sure that we're helping you get through and understanding the material. Quizzes are true and false, multiple choice. They'll be open book, open notes, and so I think it's important um, not for you to memorize the concepts, but for you to be able to apply them. And so if you need to look something up in the book, that's fine. Typically, I ask questions that will ask you to apply what you learned. And so you'll have to be able to take what's in the book anyways and apply it to the questions. There are practice questions in the book for you to practice before you take the quizzes. And I broke this course into quizzes instead of larger tests because I feel like I want to make sure you're understanding that. And if you're not understanding that, I need to go back through that material with you so you get that before we move on. And I didn't want to wait until midterm or final to find out that you're not understanding the material. So I broke it up into quizzes. And I also don't want anyone to, get anxiety about taking a midterm or final in the class because I've been a student for a long time and I know how those midterms and finals go. And I think that they're a little bit stressful and I don't want to make it stressful. And so hopefully it's not too bad. However, I still need to test that you're understanding the material. So you're allowed to use your book, you're allowed to use your notes on that. You have 2 attempts for each quiz, but it'll be an average of the 2 attempts. So you want to make sure that you did read the material before you take it, because if you get a, really low score for the first attempt, it's still going to bring down your second attempt. And so make sure that you think you're ready before you take it. But you do have to take it before the due date, because if you take it once the due date has passed, you won't be able to take it and you will get a 0 for that quiz. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure you take it, because I do post the answers for them, and once the answers are posted, I don't allow students to take it. Okay, discussion activities. I think it's good for us to be interactive as a class, and so discussion activities are a way for you to share what you're working on with other students. And so there'll be a couple discussion activities in the class, and these are creative works that I think it would be good if you were able to see what other students were doing, and so that's why I do that. And those have a specific due date, and same thing, you'll get 1 point deduction per daily. Okay, there'll be a couple extra credit opportunities, and I'll talk about those once we actually go through Canvas and look at the course. And so I have it all broken down here, that how many exercises, discussions, assignments, and quizzes, and how many points total. Okay, and so you can see here that um, we have our syllabus here. And so the syllabus, the first week is just all about installing the software, getting used to the course, figuring out everything. Discussion activity is one, is just introducing yourself to the class. So it takes some time to get to know your classmates. And so that's week 1. You'll notice that everything is due on a Saturday. And that might seem a little bit strange, but hopefully it works out with your schedule. You might have to readjust your schedule a bit. You can always turn things in early. The first week is really early because is really easy because you're just introducing yourselves. So if you wanted to get a head start and use that week to start getting into week 2 and readjust the days and times a bit. Just make sure you get the work in before my due date. So if Saturdays don't work good for you, then set a different day during the week and kind of get ahead in the first week so that you can always turn it in early the week prior, if that makes sense. So, work with whatever works with your schedule, but make sure you get it in for my due dates. So I try to give you some leeway on the first week because I know that everyone is still getting set up and everything. But if you get that done early, go ahead and move on with the next chapter so that you're ahead. You always want to try and stay ahead so that if you do get stuck and something happens or you get sick, you're already ahead. So you have time that you can take off some time and not get behind. Okay. So the second week, you have an exercise that you have to do, and then you have a discussion activity. So I'll go over that once we get into Canvas. We'll take a look at that, what the assignments and the exercises and everything look like. So you don't have a quiz until week 3, and the quiz will be over the syllabus and chapter 0 and 1. And you might say, chapter 0, that seems strange. Why is there a chapter 0? Well, in the book, it starts with chapter 0 because, um, and I'm actually one of the co-authors of the book. I thought that it would be interesting to start at 0 because computers start counting at 0 instead of starting counting at 1. And chapter 0 really also is kind of like a very basic introduction to the Alice environment. So it isn't really like a true chapter 1. So I thought it might be interesting to start at chapter 0 because of that. So chapter 0 is really just about getting started with the Alice software. And then chapter 1 is where you really get into programming and what it is to program. Okay? So sometimes we'll take a week per chapter and sometimes we'll take 2 weeks. It just depends on how hard the chapter is, how much content there is. Sometimes there'll be 1 exercise, sometimes there'll be 10 exercises. It just depends on the length of the chapter. But remember, every exercise is worth 2 points. And so all of that is listed on Canvas, and I'll show you that in just a bit. But you can take a look at the syllabus to see what we're covering each week and when things are due. And you can see that at the end, during finals week, there's no final exam in this class. It's actually an opportunity for you to do extra credit if you need to. So by that point, you should have all the other work submitted for the class, and you should be able to look at what your grade is in the class and decide if you need to do the extra credit to increase your grade. Okay, so we'll talk about the extra credit when we get into Canvas. I'm not going to read the student learning outcomes, but if you have any questions about those, let me know. If you need any type of accommodations, I need you to provide documentation for me before I can make those accommodations. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know and I can talk to you individually about that. As far as it goes for scholastic dishonesty, you're not allowed to work with other students in the class on the work in this class. So all of the work that you're submitting should be your own work. You shouldn't be getting help from anyone outside. If you need help, you should come to myself or the tutor for help, not go to anyone outside, because I need to make sure that they're not actually giving you the answers. I need to make sure that they're helping you solve it. And so I want you to come to me or come to the tutor for help instead of going for outside help. And so if I am thinking that you may have worked with someone else in the class, if your assignments, for example, look very similar, I will submit any work to the Dean of Students and they'll make the determination as to whether it's scholastic dishonesty or not. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Everything is listed here, the handbook and all the support is listed there if you have questions. Pretty much for this class, you're working online, so you're going to need access to a computer. It doesn't need to be a brand new computer. You can even if you can use a computer in a lab somewhere. I know it's a little harder because of coronavirus and everything, but um, you pretty much any computer in the last couple of years should work because Alice and NetBeans, the other software we're using for Java, works on Windows, works on the Mac, even works on Linux systems. And so really you shouldn't have any difficulty in it. It just might be a little slower if you have an older computer. You need some basic skills for taking an online class. If you're a little leery about how to save your files and everything, please let me know if this class is going to be okay for you or if I can maybe help you with that. Netiquette expectations, just, when you're writing an email, just make it professional. Put my name at the top, capitalize things correctly, sign it with your name, just because you're trying to practice for the workforce, and that's good practice for the workforce. So don't write things in all capital letters. When you're doing the discussion board, make sure that you're respectful of others, and you don't write things in all capital letters. You don't put anything that would be inappropriate, that kind of thing. Okay. And we're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. So in Canvas, if you want to post a picture of yourself as your, in your profile, that would be great. So we can kind of get to know you a bit. So let's go back over here to Canvas. So the first thing you can do, if I need to tell you about anything in the course that's changed, I'll post it under announcements here. So you'll see any recent announcements. If there's anything, like if I need to extend a due date or I need to tell you about something, I'll post that there. So let's click on modules. So modules, we're going to go here and scroll through. So the first thing I have at the top is an extra credit opportunity. So I'm going to be posting to this as the course progresses. This opportunity is extra credit that's worth 5 points for the class. Now, it's not 5 percentage points, just 5 points that gets factored into all your other points. But what it is getting involved. So I think it's important that you get involved with opportunities that we have at Collin and outside of Collin with your major and with things that might help you. So anytime I hear of seminars or, clubs or things that you can attend, I'll let you know here. And if you attend it, you can just, it'll most likely be online via Zoom. You could just take a screenshot of that showing that you were there and tell us what it's about. And then you can get the 5 points. Now you can only do this one time for 5 points. So once you do it, you've done it. But I just want you to be active. So this is the way to encourage you to check out some things that we have at the school that might help you with, what you're trying to pursue in your college career. Okay. So if you have any questions, that'll go all the way through the semester. Anytime I hear of something, I'll post it there for you. If you hear of something, you can post it for others, something that might be beneficial for the students in the class. Okay, so here is the information in week 1. And if you click here for course information, you can see the orientation video, which is what we're doing right now. If you need help, you want to take the orientation for Canvas, you can click here. The syllabus is here, but you also saw it listed over on the left-hand side. And the navigation. The install directions are listed here. This is actually our textbook resource site. And so what you can see here is I have the installation directions here for Windows and Mac. Also, if you click on text resources here, you can see that you can download any data files you need for the exercises or assignments. You can get the PowerPoint slides, which I use in the lecture videos, which I'll show you in just a bit. And also, if you haven't received your book yet, you can download the sample PDF. And the sample PDF will get you through the first couple chapters. Okay, so don't wait to get your book to get started. You can do that with a sample PDF. And so just wanted to show you what the book looks like and just talk to you about how it's organized. So first thing, it just talks about how to install the software and everything. But if you look at the first chapter, for example, again, this is chapter 0. The content is listed first, all of the new things you need to learn, and then the exercises to practice what you've just learned. And sometimes there might be more exercises than you're required to do. If you want to do them, that's great. You can turn them into me. You don't get extra credit for doing them, but it's extra practice if you need it. I think it's great if you have time to do it. But if you don't, that's fine too. You can always read them over, but you'll look at Canvas to see which ones are required for you to do for credit. And then, like, for example, you only have to do the first one for this chapter. You don't have to do this one. But if you wanted to do the second exercise, you could, but you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But it tells you step by step what to do. So hopefully pretty easy. And then you just zip them up in a folder and send them in when you're all done. So if you need help zipping, just let me know. There's always a summary at the end, and then there's some questions. And the review questions are great practice for telling you if you understand the chapter. If you aren't getting the answers to the questions, which the answers are posted on here, but if you're not getting those when you answer them yourself, let me know and I can help you with that. I'm going to assume that you're okay with those if you don't ask for help about them. And you should take those before you take your quiz. It won't be the same questions on the quiz, but it tells you if you need some help before you take the quiz. And then assignments are listed here, but I wouldn't recommend just doing all the assignments unless you have a lot of extra time, because the assignments are still listed on Canvas. And I have a rubric, which I'll show you in just a bit, that breaks down the point system for how you're awarded points on assignments. Okay, So you're not required to do all the assignments, just the ones listed in Canvas. So we'll talk about those when we get there. And so there's the textbook resources. Again, if you don't have the book, you can go to the textbook resources and get the first couple chapters. I'm not sure why my picture is not showing up, but hopefully I can get that working for you. I'm going to post a video with an introduction to myself so that you can watch that if you're interested to learn more about me, but I do have some of that posted here as well. And then also we have myself and we have Matt, and his picture's not working either. But here I have a link to my office hours. So if you need help, the getting help section, if you click here, it'll take you to how to book an appointment with me to get help. And so we're doing all our office hours online this semester. And what happens is you come here and you select a time that works for you, select a day, select a time. If I have times during that day, they'll show up here. You click on that time, for example, and then down here, you just put your name and your email. You don't have to put phone number and address. The notes section, if you could put what you need help with, that would be great, just to make sure that I have, and I might be able to come up with other examples for you if I know what you need help with. So if you could write that, that'd be great. And when you click book, it'll actually send me an email and it'll tell me that you scheduled an appointment. I'll know exactly what you scheduled an appointment about. And so if you need to cancel, you can go back into the bookings and you can cancel your appointment. Please do that. If you know you can't make your appointment, please do that, because then another student can sign up for that appointment. Also, I'm not trying to find you. I'm not on there looking for you saying, oh, they're not in their appointment, trying to find you, sitting and waiting for you to show up. So if you know you can't make it, please let me know ahead of time. Go ahead and cancel it so somebody else can get it, and also so I'm not looking for you. I schedule them with 15-minute increments because I want to give more students time to meet with me. I also think that if you have everything ready to go, like you set up your appointment, here's the Zoom link that I'll use for all my appointments. When it sends you an email reminder that you scheduled an appointment, I'll also send you the Zoom link, but it's here. You're going to go to that Zoom link at that time and wait for me. And then I'll be on. I may be a minute or so late, just because if I'm working with another student, I'll try to get off. But if I'm a couple minutes late, please wait for me. I'll be there. But I have 15-minute increments, because I want to make sure that I can allow more students time to meet with me, but also I think that should be efficient to go over enough so that you can get started. And then if you still need help, you can schedule an appointment on another day to get help. So I have office hours on different days of the week, so you can go ahead and schedule another appointment on a different day and a different date, so we can keep talking about it. But what I like to do is, take a look at what you're working on so far, help you through it, help you think about it, then give you some time to think and work through it on your own, and then come back for more help later. And so I think that's been working pretty well. So we'll try that out. Now, if there's not an appointment right after you, then I can stay a little bit longer than that and help you through it. But if there's a student right after you, then I will need to cut it to 15 minutes. So I'll let you know when we get on if we're in a time crunch, if I have a student after you or not. Okay. But please make sure when you are coming for the appointment that you have everything up and going, that you have questions with, so that you're not taking time loading the software, and that you don't do it on your phone, that you get on Zoom on your computer. Because the nice thing with Zoom is you can share your screen, just like I'm sharing my screen right now. You can share your screen and you can actually pull up your code, and I can help you through it line by line and tell you what's going on. But if you're on your phone, I really can't do that. So please make sure you're on a computer when you do that. Okay, so let me go back here to modules and go back down here. So that's the course information, then course resources. So course resources, I have the book listed again there. Here's where you can find the lecture videos for the course. So I went through the material and posted it on these videos so that you can read the chapter. And if that makes sense, that's great. But if you wanted to watch the video, which I hope you're reading and watching the video instead of just watching the videos, because I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of it, you can watch these and that'll help you through it a bit more. Okay. So there's the textbook website again. There's my office hours again if you need that. Now, Matt, I don't have his office hours right now, but I do have his email listed here. So you can email him for his office hours. And once I have them, I'll also post them there. Okay, so let me go back to modules. Okay, so discussion activity 1, pretty simple. Just introduce yourselves. So you can just say reply here, and then you can post a picture if you want to. That's optional. But please do that the first week so you can read over everyone's introductions and you get points for that. So that's good. Pretty easy. Week 2. Every week I put the course resources again. That's my office hours. That's a link to the textbook resource and slides and lecture videos. And so you have that. So here's an example, chapter 0 exercise. You only have to do exercise 1. Now, sometimes for the exercises, I created a video for you so that you can watch the video to see how I do it. But I also have screenshots in the book. And so you can read over the book and look at the screenshots, or you can watch the video, whatever works for you. I don't have a video for every exercise, but I do have a video for a lot of the exercises. So once you're ready, you can go ahead and submit. You're going to upload your file and submit it. Since this is only one program, you can just upload the one program and submit it. Okay. And then your second part will be a discussion activity for this week. And this one you get to be creative. So based on what you learned how to do in the Alice exercise, I want you to get to be creative with this and create your own animation. And so you'll just be replying and uploading your animation. And this gives you a chance to look at everyone else's animation. Don't use one of the exercises that I have in the book as your own animation. This is a chance for me to see that you've experimented with the software and you've tried to do your own thing. So I want this to be your own creation, not one of the exercises that I have. Okay. And so that is week 2. So we're already up to week 3. Now, in week 3, you have exercises. I wanted to show you this real quick. Sometimes you have more than one exercise, of course, and so I have the exercises listed here that you have to submit. Make sure you submit both of them because you get 2 points per exercise. So if you only submit one exercise, you'll just get 2 for that one. So submitting something is better than nothing. So if there's 8, for example, 8 exercises in a chapter, don't just not submit any of them because you didn't do one of the exercises. Just submit the ones you have done so you can get credit for those. And when the due date rolls around, I'll grade the ones you have. And then if you are missing some, you'll see that your score isn't what it should be, and it'll say missing whatever exercise you're missing. And then you can go and submit them if you have them later. So you can always submit them later. But I do want you to try to do those before the assignment because they will help you tremendously with doing the assignments. Okay. So here's the assignment. And I wanted to show you the assignment has a rubric so you know exactly what you're doing. So here's the directions in the rubric, but I also have a rubric down here. This is what I use for grading. So exactly what you'll get points for. So here I have it here, but I also have it down below. So if you download this, it'll tell you what you're supposed to do. So the goal and then the rubric for grading. What will you get points for? So for this one, you have to draw a face, and you're just using asterisk and you're using print lines, which this will make more sense once you read the chapter. But you're trying to draw a face, and it doesn't have to be perfect face, but some sort of face. And then you're getting points for different things that you do. So here's the rubric down below as well. So you're just zipping and submitting that when you're ready. And if you don't know how to zip, I have zipping directions there for you. Okay. And then the quiz. So the quiz, this sounds silly, but please don't take the quiz until you're ready, until you studied, because as soon as you say take the quiz, it actually starts timing you. And once the time limit expires, then it'll submit your quiz for you. So it doesn't matter if you log off of Canvas or shut down your computer, it's still timing you and it's going to submit your quiz. Now, if you don't know the answer, you should guess because a guess is better than no guess. And so there's 15 questions and there's 20 minutes, so hopefully plenty of time to answer the questions. If you don't do so well the first time, make sure you do a second attempt before the due date passes. But you know, make sure you study ahead of time so hopefully you can get it on the first attempt. You don't have to take it again. Okay, because it is an average of the two. Keep that in mind, an average of the two, not the highest. Okay, so the rest of the course is laid out just like that. Sometimes we'll be taking multiple weeks for one chapter. And that's because it's an intense chapter, so make sure that you're taking both weeks to work on the chapter, not just skipping a week. Okay, and then usually, not always, but usually I won't have a quiz until after 2 chapters, but sometimes just after 1 chapter. So I mix them together. And then at the end, there's another extra credit opportunity. This extra credit opportunity is just doing a couple exercises in the class. And you'll know if you need it by the end of the semester, and so wouldn't worry about that till we get to the end. Okay, so that is a breakdown of the course, and if I click on grades, it won't look how yours looks, but you can ask me if you have questions on that. I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to look into that later. I didn't mean to put that on there, but I'm going to try to take that out of there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense and you have an overview of the class. If you have any questions about the class, please don't hesitate to schedule an appointment with me, and I can meet with you. I can talk with you. I can see your screen, you can see my screen, and so it's a really convenient tool um, to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. So don't hesitate to set up an appointment with me. That's what I'm here for. I have my office hours on there. So you just click set up an appointment, and I'll be there so that you can ask questions or, see what's going on. So if you're not sure about something, if you're looking over the course and you're confused, just let me know. So it is an online course, so we don't have any regular meetings that you have to attend. But if you want to schedule appointments with me for office hours, again, please don't hesitate to do so. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful semester with all of you. And, um, you know, hopefully this goes smoothly, hopefully like programming, and you have fun with it. Okay.